Okay, good morning, everybody. It is September 8th, 2025, and I want to say thank you. I've got a bunch of new subscribers, and thank you, everybody, for the comments. I've certainly enjoyed them. I've even enjoyed the ones that were kind of going after me a little bit. One person called me a paid shill, which I think was my favorite of the negative comments. By the way, I've never received a penny for any of the videos I've done. I have no sponsors, I have no advertising, I don't monetize the videos. I just do this because I like to do it. That being said, if someone wants to pay me for a video, I'm definitely open to the idea. But for now, I have never received a penny in my life. Uh, Other thing, real quick, I'm at 347 subscribers as I'm doing this video, so I'm asking three brave souls to please hit the subscribe button. Let's get it up to 350. And if there's more than three of you out there, that would be even better. Okay, so the topic for today is foreign direct investment in the United States, and we are fact checking Trump's statement over the weekend about that. Real quick, I'm going to do that, and then at the end, I made a mistake in one of my prior videos, and I'm going to talk about the mistake. So just hang on to the end, and I'll get to that. Okay, so first, what did Trump say? What Trump said was that you're going to see over the next few. He said you're going to see almost 17 trillion invested in this country over the next few months, and he was saying that in the context of foreign direct investment. The idea is, he's been going around the world and been getting all these what am I trying to say? Deals. The Saudis are going to invest 600 billion. The Qataris are going to invest 200 billion. Europe's going to do 600 billion, and Japan's going to do 500 billion, and all this other kind of stuff. I have been pretty clear that I did not think any of that was happening. But let's examine Trump's statement. Let's start with the idea that this is going to be 17 trillion. And it's going to happen in the next few months. So the first question is, what defines a few months? I would think most people would think that's like 2, 3, 4 months, somewhere in that range, maybe 5 or 6. I'm going to go ahead and use an annual I'm going to give a 1 year time window. So I'm going to assume, okay, he said a few months. Let's give a full year, 12 months from now. And let's take a look at some numbers, and let's try to figure out what is total foreign direct investment in the United States, and is there even any reasonable possibility, even if it's unlikely, that this could happen. So the first thing I did was I checked to see what was total foreign direct investment in the United States last year. Last year, 2024, we had about $151 billion total foreign direct investment in the United States. Remember, Trump was promising 17 trillion in just a few months. Full year last year, we had 151 billion. Hey, maybe last year was a bad year. So I looked up what's the all-time record. What's the best year we've ever had? Best year we ever had was 2021. Europe, Japan, China, a lot of lockdowns in place, a lot of restrictions. The United States is really opening up. We have a lot better demographics. We've just, the federal government has just flooded the system with cash. So a lot of foreign direct investment came in that year. In fact, in 2021, we had 475 billion, and that is the highest we have ever recorded. As you notice, that is way better than we had in 2024. It's like 3 times as much. So if we take but Trump is promising 17 trillion. So if you take 475 billion and multiply it by 10, you'd be at 4.75 trillion, or less than 1/3 of what Trump is promising, or really about a quarter of what Trump is promising. So what Trump is saying is that in the next few months, let's assume a year, we will see investment in the United States equivalent to 35 to 40 times as much as we ever had in the best year in our history. Okay, I don't know about you, but I'm not really buying that. So I also then went ahead and I checked and said, okay, well, what do we know about foreign direct investment so far this year? I found 2 things. First, we don't have the Q2 number. That won't come out until September 30th. I'll try to do an update when that happens. Q1 of this year, we had about $50 billion. Q1 tends to be the best quarter of the year for foreign direct investment, and we had 50 billion, or just a little bit over 50 billion. The point, though, of that is for 50 billion, you have to multiply that by 20 to get to 1 trillion, and Trump's talking 17 trillion. So 17 times 20 is 340. So we would need 340 times as much invested in the next few months as we saw in the first quarter of this year. Good luck with that. So the next question I asked is, well, what's the total amount of foreign direct investment in the United States? And what I found is the way it's measured is actually by the total value of it, not the aggregate amount invested. So there's going to be a differential between if you said, okay, this is the total amount that's been invested versus the total value, because obviously some things were invested and the investment went great and grew and grew and grew. Others, the investment completely failed and it went to zero. Total amount of foreign direct investment in the United States by value, cumulative, all time, about 5.7 trillion. So what Trump is saying is that the amount that will be invested in the United States in the next few months, which I'm generously defining as 1 year, will be the equivalent of triple what the combined cumulative all-time value of foreign direct investment is in the United States. No, that is not going to happen. We're not going to do half that. We're not going to do 1/4 that. We're not going to do 10% of that. We may do 3 or 4% or maybe 5% of that, but that's probably our best case scenario. Now, by the way, if we did 5% of that 17 trillion number, we actually had a pretty good year. It's not like an incredible year or anything, but it's a good year. But that's probably our best case scenario. When the Q2 numbers come out, I will tell you my suspicion is that we're going to see foreign direct investment drop quite a bit in the United States, and that is because the United States has become extremely unstable and unpredictable. And that is just not something, high volatility, high risk, very unclear what's going to happen. That is toxic to investors. Investors want some level of certainty that they're with their investment. Okay, so basically I would rate his claim as being absurdly false. 0% chance it's going to happen. But let's assume, just for the sake of argument, that it did. If we had 17 trillion invested in the United States in the next year, our total economic size, depending exactly what number you look at, somewhere in the 23, 25 trillion range, that would be nearly doubling our economy in 1 year. That would be the greatest economic boom, as I understand it, probably of any country in any 1 year in history. It would also mean an inflationary surge of epic proportions. That much cash flooding into the United States would drive prices to an unbelievable degree. We would be having inflation that's, I mean, you'd almost be thinking like Weimar Republic style inflation, or like Venezuelan style inflation, something like that. I mean, you know, those ridiculous stories you hear about people having to, fill a duffel bag with cash to buy a loaf of bread because the prices have gone up, 20,000%. These just almost just comically crazy numbers. So let us hope that we do not have 17 trillion of investment in the next year, because if it is, whatever you have invested in your life savings, your home equity, it's all worthless. It would absolutely wipe you out. Now, again, foreign direct investment by and large is a good thing. I'm a big fan of it. I think it's a positive, and I definitely want lots of it in the United States. But you do not want that much that fast. If we got that much over many years, that would be great. We do not want that in 1 year, or as Trump says, in a few months. So, okay, that handles the fact check. Let me move on to what I got wrong. I did a video talking about the job market, and I was listening to it again over the weekend, checking it, and I completely flubbed on the construction quits. I absolutely reversed the explanation, explained it backwards. I don't know why. I'm not sure how I did that or why I did that, but I did. My apologies to everyone for that. Construction quits are at an all-time low, and I'm so sorry I got this backwards. I don't know what I was thinking. What that means is not that people are quitting construction jobs at record highs, but at record lows. Everyone who's got a construction job is holding on to it. Generally, what happens if you overlay construction quits with the overall broader health of the economy, the better the economy gets, the higher the quits rate is. Normally, because what this means is that they can quit their job in construction and go find a better job somewhere else that pays more. Maybe it's another construction job, maybe it's driving a truck, maybe they're going to a trade school, whatever. Maybe it's a kid working his way in college and he says, I got my degree, I'm out of here, whatever. By the way, I used to be a construction worker, so I did some of that. I was actually on a demolition crew, just swinging a sledgehammer and stuff all day. So I definitely understand the desire to get your degree and go do something else. The point of this, though, is that the fact that the quits have hit very, very low levels, I mean really low levels, means that the people who are working in construction are clinging to their jobs. This means we have a very unhealthy labor market, and means that they are looking around saying, man, I can't do any better than this. I'd better hold on to this job. There's not a better construction job. There's not a better job in another field. I have to keep this paycheck rolling, even if it's not one that I particularly like, because I just don't have a better alternative. So again, that is the low level of construction quits is indicative of a very poor economy. I'm sorry, I completely reversed the explanation. If you want to pillory me in the comments section about it, feel free. I deserve it. My apologies for that, because I could not have been more wrong in how I explained that one. But either way, thank you everyone for making it to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. I hope you hit that like and subscribe button and hit the bell for new notifications. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.